In this video, you will learn how to configure and use emulation on a PlanetLab node. A registered PlanetLab slice supports emulation. These are the steps required to use the emulation. 1. Enable the slice to use emulation. 2. Install the IPFW slice package. 3. Configure emulation for your experiment. 4. Run your experiment. 5. Check your results. 6. Clean up emulation after the experiment. The first steps are performed once for each slice. The last steps are repeated for each experiment. To enable the slice to use emulation, send an email to PlanetLab support requesting activation of emulation. Your email should say, "Can you please enable the emulation tag vsystem IPFWBE for your slice name on all nodes?" This step must be done for each slice on which you want to use emulation. You will receive an email confirming the emulation has been enabled. You can check the tag state from the slice page on the PlanetLab site. Log into the PlanetLab site. Go to My Slices. On the My Slice page, you can see the tag status in the tag menu. To access the emulator, you need to install the IPFW slice package on the sliver. To install the IPFW slice package, log into your sliver. Run the command sudo yum install IPFW slice. At this point, the IPFW slice package is installed on the sliver. This step needs to be done once. You need to configure emulation for your experiment. Use the netconfig program to configure emulation for your experiment. You can configure emulated links in 3 modes: client, server, service. Client mode emulates node hosting clients that connect to external servers whose ports and/or addresses are known. Server mode emulates the case where the local node hosts a server on one or more well-known local ports. Service mode uses the same pair of emulated links for both client and server modes. It can be used with experiments where you run both client and server sockets on the same node. Here's an example of how to configure an emulated link. Run the command /sbin/netconfig config client 80 in delay 100 milliseconds out BW 1 megabit per second. This will configure the emulation in client mode, intercepting traffic between a local client and a remote server on port 80. In this experiment, the link is configured with a delay of 100 milliseconds on incoming traffic and a bandwidth of 1 megabit per second on outgoing traffic. Once you have configured your emulation, you can run your experiment. In this experiment, you can use wget to generate traffic, matching the parameters of the emulated link. Downloading a file from a remote web server will be subject to the limitations that you have set. You can modify the configuration, repeating the netconfig command, even while the experiment is running. In addition to the output of your experiment, you can read from the emulator a count of matching and drop packets in bytes by running the commands /sbin/netconfig show rules and /sbin/netconfig show pipes. The show rules command shows how many bytes and packets matched our rules. The show pipes command shows statistics for the input and output links, including dropped packets due to queue overflows. Once you are done with your experiment, you should remove the emulated link previously installed. To do that, you can run the command /sbin/netconfig delete client 80 to clean up your rules. Otherwise, it will be removed automatically after a timeout of approximately 1 day. For more information on DummyNet, you can see the IPFW homepage and the IPFW man pages.